Maybe you're sitting there thinking about your latest sci-fi horror fantasy, you need some more necromorphs in your life, and you just really like freaking yourself out. Well, don't worry, you're not alone. The team at Visceral Games devises, plans, and engineers some of the freakiest worlds imaginable, like the Dead Space series. I'm here in the Bay Area to figure out what minds come up with this stuff, and how you might just get the best job ever. Steve, thank you so much for having us here at Visceral today.
Sure.
Dead Space 1, huge hit, obviously. What kind of input did you take from fans and from people who played the game when adding new features into Dead Space 2?
We have a vision for what we were doing with Dead Space 2, but we definitely wanted to listen to what the players said. So Isaac, people kind of felt like they didn't really know who he was. So in Dead Space 2, we gave him a voice and we let you see his face a bit more. Multiplayer was something that gamers nowadays really want, and so we put a lot of effort into creating our Outbreak mode, which allowed players to play Necromorphs and the Sprawl Security Force.
So Ian, what's your role here? What's your job like?
I'm the franchise art director on Dead Space.
So you are the one that makes things look as horrifying as they do.
I ensure that they look as horrifying as they can, but there's a huge team here helping. We've got concept artists, animation, production designers, set builders, Dino and the UI team. There's a whole unsung hero crew of technical artists. If you ever want a guaranteed job and a meal ticket, technical artists, you can write your own check, call me. We really wanted to play up the horror angle because horror is relatively rare in games. We wanted the world, despite being sci-fi, to be very, very readable. And because you believed in the world, you believed in the things that were happening in it, which then were scarier. So that was sort of the idea.
So Dino, tell me about your role here at Visceral.
I'm the UI lead for the Dead Space team.
How is doing UI for video games different from UI in other tech spaces?
Typical gamer would like bash in through a game, smash into like menus just to get to the end of the game. There's a creature falling from the sky, there's like explosions to the right. So UI has to be able to tell you, hey, wait, do this before you continue without obstructing the game and in a very short amount of time.
So show me an example of you going from like Sketchpad to final product.
We got the idea of like, what if the menu happened inside his brain? So we started drawing out the idea, building these neurons, because it's hard to just commit people on an idea by just talking about it. I build some models in Maya. After that, I show it to our engineer and we decide how we're gonna pull it off. And then we end up with this thing that's actually in the game. All from there, starts here, starts with drawings.
Now, how do you decide who is a good fit for being on the team?
Number one is fundamental skill. I think a lot of people put way too much emphasis on tool knowledge. Hey, I'm an expert Maya user. I know Photoshop like this or Painter like that. Anybody smart can pick up a package in a month. The fact is, most houses, a significant portion of their tool set is going to be in-house anyway. So your external tool knowledge, that's not that important, knowing where the buttons are, but why are you pressing that button? From an art perspective, do you have fundamental skills of composition, color theory? That kind of thing's important.
If someone wants to get into designing or developing video games, how do they kind of get their foot in the door?
People just can't walk in off the street and be a video game developer. It's something that, you know, it takes years of trying and working on it. When I first got into video games, I started as a tester, and I think there's a lot you can learn doing that. You understand, you know, the errors that happen in games, and then you see how they get fixed, and you also start to get exposure to the development team, and that really does pay off.
What kind of portfolio should they have available to you when they come in looking for a job?
Oh man, I wish someone had been telling me this back in the day. Game artists need to know that what the art they are making is to serve a larger product and not just their own art. Know what you want to do in terms of what role on the team you want to fill, and then bring a portfolio that demonstrates your ability to do that single role. You can't have a portfolio that shows you do a bunch of stuff okay. I need a problem solved. I need this part of the pipeline filled. I want a portfolio that completely demonstrates, hey, I know how to do that part. If it's textures and shading, show me textures and shading. Show me how that was built. Demonstrate that you understand how games are made. Show me that you appreciate your part of the role and how you can sort of fill it.
Working on big games like the ones at Visceral require a multitude of specialized roles, and good, happy developers know where they fit into the larger picture. The best thing you can do is find an area you love working in, and then build up your portfolio that showcases your problem-solving skills and abilities. They'll let you in on all their secrets once you get hired. So search Dead Space for Necromorphs and DICE.com for your best job ever in the games industry. Hey everyone, remember that our Best Interview Ever contest isn't over yet. Each week, head over to dice.com/contest, answer one of our interview questions, and you could win a Connect. And tech pros share those answers. The most popular answer each week wins.